How are you doing? My name is Joseph Ngugi. I am one of the co-founders of Pre-PT Grind. And tonight we are excited to come on here live just to talk to you as pre-PTs and as, well, us as former pre-PTs and current physical therapists. But to you as pre-PTs that are looking to get into physical therapy. So I'll be coming on here live with Casey Coleman, who is the co-founder of Pre-PT Grind. I see him on here. Let's do it. We're about to add Casey. Comments. We want you to ask questions as we take care of you. What's up, Casey? How you doing, brother?
What's going on? What's going on?
What's up,
Am I
man? You see
coming
that?
through?
Yes, you are. How about
All
myself?
right. All good. Loud and clear.
All right, perfect, perfect. So, Casey just recently started working as a physical therapist. It's his first few weeks in the job, so he's wearing the polo now. He had the t-shirts for the other live streams before, but if this is your first time joining us for a pre-PT chat live, we do this every Thursday night. Now, what we are doing differently from this point on is we are going to be coming live in the pre-doctor of physical therapy students page. And then we'll share the video out later. But we just want to talk to you in this page. And so if you're watching this on replay and you know somebody that could benefit from watching these videos, just learning from what we're going to share, bring them onto this group, allow them to, be part of this community with you. But we just want to talk to you personally about, really a lot of things that, a lot of us struggled with. Casey and myself struggled with. A lot of you have struggled with on your journey to becoming physical therapists. And that's really what it's all about. Everything we do is to really just allow you to set yourself apart so that you could get to where we are now as physical therapists in an amazing, amazing profession. So let's talk about it. A lot of things we just keep to ourselves. But if you recently saw, we put out a survey. We wanted to hear from you a little bit. And lots of you responded back and shared with us your stories, where you were at, what your fears, frustrations, anxieties were. And so be rest assured that in the next few weeks, months, years, as we drop knowledge for you, we're going to make sure to take care of each and every one of you that responded. So let's go. Casey, before we start, man, how has your job been as a physical therapist?
Man, you guys should be so excited that you're applying to physical therapy school. This job is so great. Like it's not only, chill, relax, you're not really stressed out unless you're like in some place that's overworking you, and that's a different story. But other than that,
Yeah.
you are laughing with people, you're talking with your coworkers, you're doing exercise, you're not at a desk all day. You might have some extra paperwork here and there, but who cares? That's every job. So this
Yeah.
is, I don't care what setting you're in. I'm in the outpatient setting, Joseph is as well. This is
Yep.
so amazing. You're just touching people all day. Like 12 patients today, I just touched 12 people's lives. Like what
Right.
other job? There's other jobs out there that can do something similar, but in this aspect, you guys are in the right place. This is whatever your dreams are, whatever your vision is of this profession, like this is it. This is what you're looking for. This is exactly what I envisioned
Exactly.
myself doing before applying. I
Yeah.
was like, I'm going to be in a clinic. I'm going to be talking like this. I'm going to be interacting with patients. This is it. So I've lived out the vision that I seen when I was in your spot as a pre-PT. So it's amazing.
I love it. I love it. Can you guys still hear me? I see Casey froze a little bit, but I can still hear him. Casey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Sorry.
All right.
Let's see.
So you're frozen, but hopefully everyone can still see both of us. But I want to welcome Melissa. We have Melissa. We have Adesina. We have Mang. We have Kevin. We have Megan. We have Andrew Tyler. We have Benjamin Lee. All right, let's go. Welcome to the party, y'all. So let's go right into it, because what Casey's talking about is absolutely important. We love what we do as physical therapists. We love everything that we are part of now. For myself, can you hear me, Casey?
Yeah, am I still frozen?
No. You're rock solid, bro.
All right.
All right, man. So for me, like a year in, and I was talking about this last night with a few new grad PTs, but a year in, it's been an absolutely amazing ride. But mainly it was because of the people that I had around me. And so tonight, what we want to talk about is, am I good enough? Am I worthy enough? Do I even have a chance? Am I good enough? Am I worthy enough? Do I even have a chance? Let's have a serious conversation. What's up, Sarah? How you doing? Uh, real talk. It's absolutely terrifying to apply into PT school. It's actually terrifying before you even apply to PT school. Um, uh, If you followed us for the last year, month, week, day, it doesn't really matter. We've really been sharing a lot of stories, frustrations that we've just seen from other individuals. But the honest truth is that it's absolutely terrifying. For myself, and I'll share my story later at another time. A lot of those fears were fears of letting certain people down. For some, it's ourselves. For me, it was my parents. It was individuals that I had in my circle. I was the firstborn in my family. When we immigrated to the states, it was just the burden of having to take care of my siblings at a young age. Because my parents were just having to try to feed us, so they were working at grocery stores, factories, and so on and so forth. And I'll share more of that later. But the honest truth is, I never had time to kind of really reflect on what was going on in real. So for me, I was the leader of my siblings. I had to be the brave one. I had to always take the biggest jumps, right? I had to have the best grades, because if I didn't have the best grades, my siblings would suffer for it. But the honest truth is, when it came to applying to physical therapy, it wasn't necessarily because I wanted to be a PT from the beginning. It was simply because I was trying to live up to my parents' expectations. I was trying to live up to the expectations of, them wanting me to be a physician or an engineer or something that was of that nature, because I mean, shoot, if you from outside the states, that's all your parents want you to do anyway, right? And so for me, like, it was that. But the honest truth is, it wasn't even as a pre-PT, but when I was in my second year of physical therapy school, when I had this same question that most of you are going through right now. Am I good enough? Am I worthy enough? Do I even have a chance? So you're applying to PT school right now, or you're thinking about applying. You're seeing all your classmates. They're doing their own thing. Casey had the same situation. For him, it was his classmates. He's seeing us that came in with him. And he's like, holy crap, like, I'm taking the same classes as them. I'm working just as hard. Like, I don't even know. Like, after he got rejected, and he'll tell you in just a moment, it's like, I don't even know if I even have a chance. Like, am I wasting all my money? As a pre-PT, it's expensive to just go through the classes. But then at the same time, it's also expensive to apply to PT programs. So am I putting all my eggs in the wrong basket? Now, maybe you're not like Casey and myself. Maybe you're not applying young. Maybe you're a non-traditional pre-PT student. Maybe you're looking to get into physical therapy after being in a different profession. Maybe you actually have a family. What's up, Gabby Mace? Maybe you actually have a family that's relying on you. That's relying on you getting in. And so the pressure is even bigger than it was for myself or Casey. The pressure is not letting them down. The pressure is putting food on their table. The pressure is them sacrificing so that you could be where you're at. The pressure is, well, maybe I can't leave my spouse or my significant other, but I'm trying to make sure that I get into the closest school in my vicinity so that I don't have to be separated from my family for 3 years because my spouse can't leave their job for that long. What is it for you, though? What is it? What is it that scares you so much that it leaves you feeling inadequate? Because that's what ultimately happens to all of us. It doesn't matter what our frustrations are. Ultimately, there's a level of inadequacy that we don't usually share. And that's why we have to come on here live, because we're gonna show you aspects of our story. You're gonna see different aspects of other pre-PTs. But the honest truth is, these are questions that you're gonna ask yourself at some point. I neglected them, up until I was in my second year of PT school, to the point where I almost pulled out of physical therapy school. I actually told my girlfriend at the time, I told her I was never meant to be in PT school. Imposter syndrome, feeling like I didn't belong with anybody, feeling like the people that were around me were a whole lot more advanced than I was, that they deserved it a whole lot more. I mean, tell that to the patients I saw today. Tell that to the patients that Casey saw today. So what are your fears? What is leading you to ask yourself whether you're good enough, whether you're worthy enough, whether you even have a chance of getting into physical therapy school? Is it the burden of those that are looking up to you? Is it the burden of the people that are saying, yo, you got to get in? Is it the people that you're trying to live up to their expectations as opposed to yours? Or maybe it's just you. Maybe it's just yours. Casey, what was it for you, man?
Yeah. Before I hop into that, I want to talk to the people who might not be applying until next cycle or the cycle after that. And they're probably
Yeah.
listening to this and they're like, "What are you talking about? This pressure? Like, I'm just a sophomore. I'm just a
Yeah,
freshman. I don't have to. I'm not under pressure. I'm not worried about that because we got some of those responses. So
yeah.
if you're not, I just want to put something into perspective. Joseph's talked about wasting time and wasting money. If you're not grinding right now, if you're not putting in the work, or if you're not going up 1,000%, this could be something where you could possibly waste $75,000 to $100,000. And how are we getting at that
Talk about it,
number?
sir.
How are we getting at that number? So if you don't get in the first time and you have to wait a year, that would be about, let's just say the PT salary is an average of $75,000 a year. You lost a
Yeah,
full year's salary of $75,000 a year or $100,000
true.
a year.
That's true.
Plus, if your schools cost 30 grand a semester, I mean, not semester, a year, or 20,000, whatever that is, you got to add that in to a year. So 75,000 lost in salary plus whatever you'd be in debt from paying PT school. So however you want to do that math, that's a lot of money lost. Plus the year off, plus retaking classes, plus this and that. You
Mm.
can add it all up. So we got some of those responses last night, and they were like, "Yeah, I'm not under pressure. Yeah, I got some time. You do not have time. If there's anything I can go back and tell myself, you do not have time. You got to take every
Mm-mm.
single thing seriously. Every test, every quiz, going to sleep early, whatever you want to do, whatever you want to call it. You got to take it seriously now, because you can talk to me, you can talk to anybody else who's applying now. They're like, man, I wish I would have taken that more seriously. I wish I would have studied harder for that
Yeah,
class, or I wouldn't be in this situation. Ask the people who are applying now who went through our survey, and they're like, man, if I can just do that over again, I wouldn't be under this pressure from my parents. I wouldn't be under this
yeah,
pressure from my spouse because I did the work, and all I have to do is walk the path now. So if you don't want to go through that pressure, if you're listening to us and like, oh, that's cool, these guys are just talking, that's not for me yet. No, this is for you now, more than the
yes,
people who are
man.
applying now. This
Yeah,
is for you now, more than the people who are applying now. So if this is a wake up call for you, let it be a wake up call, because you got to put in the work now. It would be so much easier once that cycle comes for you to apply. You have no idea. You have no idea how easy it would be for you. Ask any of them. You won't have to retake classes. You won't have to
yeah,
do this. You won't have to talk to an advisor. You won't have to, message us at the last minute and this. It would be a smooth walk
yeah,
in the park for you to get into PT school. So if you're in high school, undergrad, whatever it is, your time is now.
yeah,
Your time is now, so you don't waste $75,000 to $100,000 in salary plus whatever schools cost
yeah.
to get in. So that's pretty much it. Like Joseph said, we'll go into more details of our stories and everything like that. But if you don't want to be like me and the people we've had in our podcast who've had to
Mm.
go through that, you gotta start now. For those people watching who aren't applying to a year or a year out from there, you got to
Yeah,
start now. Then if you're talking about you're not worthy, since this is the title of the live stream, if you're not worthy,
yeah.
not feeling good enough, whatever it is, it's if you're thinking like that and you're going through interviews, or you're getting denial letters, or you're not even finding out if the schools are accepting you for interviews, and you're kind of in this free fall thing that Joseph talks about before, it's if you're coming to that place, it's not necessarily that you're not right for PT school, or you're
Mm.
not right for that PT school, or that you did something wrong in that interview. It's not really about that. The
Mm.
person who is making that decision, it just means it's not right for them. It
Mm.
doesn't mean you're not right for PT school. There's hundreds of PT schools out there. There's just one or a couple of people making that decision whether you can or
Wow.
cannot get into their PT school. It doesn't
Huh.
mean that the profession of PT school is, I mean, the profession of PT
Exactly.
is not right for you. So don't
Exactly.
let one person's judgment, one person's decision set you on a totally different course for 20 years just because one person said, no, I don't like that. Because y'all say, no, I don't really like them for this video, or I don't want to do this with free PT grind. If we said, okay, one person doesn't like us, we got to stop the whole thing. we would not be impacting thousands of people. We would not be impacting thousands of
True.
patients in our career just
Very true.
because some people watching us said, "No, I don't like those guys. I don't like pre-PT grind. I don't want to do
Hmm.
this or buy that." We would be done, and you guys would not be served, and many of you probably wouldn't have gotten to PT school if we were so
Yep.
hurt that some of you guys rejected us. So don't let
Wow.
one little person in PT school who barely knows your story, who just knows you from a sheet, deter you on a totally
Yeah.
different path. Because if that happened to me,
Yeah.
a lot of you wouldn't have gotten to PT school last year, last cycle, whatever it
Yeah.
is. If I let that deter me, it would have been over for a lot of you. So don't let
Yeah.
it be over for a lot of your patients in the future. Just because one person said you're not right for my school, because you
Yes,
are
sir.
right for the profession. So it's a lot. We'll unpack it as time goes on, but that's my 2-3 cents on this topic.
Man, thank you for joining us, Caroline. How you doing? And
What's
Gabby
up?
said in here, she said, put in the work now and do everything you can to make yourself unique from other applicants. It's all about the mindset. Exactly. And what Casey said is 100% correct. The one thing that we want you to understand is that, like, if physical therapy is what you want, then lock into it. Let's make it happen. But you have to, first of all, understand that one, you are very, very, like, you are good enough. I don't really care how low your GPA is. I don't care how extensive your story is. I've seen everything from someone who has been 20 years in the profession and has switched over to physical therapy, having not taken classes for the past 15 plus years for undergrad, and ultimately get in. I've seen people that have families where they have 4 kids get in. I've seen it all. But bottom line is you have to agree and lock into the fact that you are good enough to get into physical therapy school. Don't let anybody ever sell you short of that. I don't care if they're trying to give you something else that they feel you'd be a better fit for. I mean, it's not their dream, it's yours. It doesn't matter if it's your parents, it's not their dream, it's yours. If it's your faculty members, it's not their dream, it's yours. Your professors, yours, whatever it is, like they are not the ones that have the dream that you have to become a physical therapist. Are you worthy enough? Well, heck freaking yeah, because your patients are worthy enough of you. Does that make sense? And so if I were to go to the patients that Casey and I were seeing today and say, yo, do you think I should have done this? I mean, unless we suck at what we do, they'd be like, yeah. So yes, you are worthy enough. You have to lock into that. You have to accept that. And honestly, if I got to come on live, if Casey has to come on here live for the next 365 days just to convince you of that, then so be it. But you have to accept it for yourself. And that's why we have to share it like this. You are good enough. You are worthy enough. And having a chance, well, it's all about finding the one school. That's all it is. Just like Casey said, we can't determine what we do based on one person not liking us. And so you can't determine whether you apply, reapply, or choose a different route of actually attacking your whole application process based on one school not liking you. It just means you weren't a match. That's fine. I can't expect to just go out and find any random girl, right? And be like, yo, we got to be a match. What's up, Eric? Like, what's up, Judy? How you doing? Like, I can't just go out and be like, yo, we got to be a match because, you're here, I'm here. Let's just, okay, we might not be. We might not be. But when I find the one girl, AKA my fiance, when I find her, it's a wrap. What's up, Jasmine? It's a wrap. It's a wrap. So you have to look at it that way. Am I good enough? Hell yes. Am I worthy enough? You better doggone believe it. Do I even have a chance? Well, of course. Of course. The question is, how long are you willing to stay on? How willing are you willing to lock in? How much are you willing to do to make sure that your chance is realized? Are you just going to apply the first time and say, well, guess that wasn't for me. Shoot, athletic training it is.
Mm.
Oh, wait, actually, my mom wanted me to be, she wanted me to be an engineer. Maybe healthcare wasn't for me. Maybe it wasn't for me. So I'm going to pull the plug. What's up, Jonathan? So I'm going to pull the plug. Bump physical therapy, right? You know what? Actually, my parents don't want me to risk it again because it's too expensive. So because it's too expensive, maybe I'll go. Remember, it hurts to apply and not get accepted. It hurts to fail a class. It hurts to get rejected I mean, if any of you are in a relationship, I want you to comment. Be like me. If you're in a relationship right now, just say me. If it was me, I'd be in here commenting. If you're in a relationship, say me. Because the honest truth is, if I just remember, most of us have gotten rejected at some point when it comes to any kind of relationship. So if we got rejected the first time and said, well, guess that's it for me, isn't that the same thing we do with physical therapy? Right, Emily? Like, isn't that the same thing we do with physical therapy? We assume that just because we didn't get locked in the first time, just because it wasn't a match the first time, that we just got to pull the plug. You know what's funny is actually like the way the school system is set up, it's set up for you to actually think that way, right? It's set up for me to think, I put this much work in, I get an A on a class. I put this much work into my application, I naturally get into PT school. We've actually been trained wrong. This is the perfect time to learn how to be resilient. This is the perfect time to figure out who your best roadmap to getting to your end destination of physical therapy school is. Who's done it? Who's figured it out? If I'm spending my time asking my mom, it's like, yo, mom, like, what do you think about my application? How does it look? What do you think about my essay? What do you think about this? Well, mom hasn't been to PT school. Now she has. Cool. That's a perfect person to go to. But if she hasn't, that's not it. If I'm going to my professors who have, maybe they went to PT school, but it was like 20 years ago, it's a completely different system. And I'm asking them, well, maybe they don't have the answers I need. So I need to figure out somebody who's got it together right now. But I also need to understand that it's just like a relationship. I might get rejected the first time. I might get rejected the second time, but that does not touch whether I'm good enough. That does not touch whether I'm worthy enough. And that does not touch whether I have a chance to get in. Does that make sense? I can honestly tell you, like my fiance right now is the greatest person I've ever met in my life, but she's not the first person I ever dated. And so if I ever let those early instances stop me from ever getting to the point where I found her, well, even me having even us being live doesn't even happen, because when pre-PT grind was in its early phases, she's the one that actually pushed this doggone thing. Does that make sense? So treat your application like that. Understand that if you're in this page right now, if you're watching this video, whether replay, whether live, you are meant to be a physical therapist if that's what you want. So lock into it. If you're applying this cycle, lock into it. Stop letting it happen to you. Stop being like, well, I don't know. I'm just applying it all. Lock into it. Figure it out. But that's how it works. So if you want it, understand that you are good enough. Understand that you are worthy enough. And this is what you're meant to do. All your future patients, now I used to say this to myself, oh, what would my future patients? Well, I got them now. So I can actually go and have a conversation with them and see, like, what does it actually mean to you for us to develop this relationship? It's a two-way street. And it's been amazing for us on both ends. So you have to look at it like that. So don't let the doubts or frustrations that usually come from ourselves, don't let the pressure that you normally feel from family members or maybe time or finances or being so far away from, the prerequisite classes that you took, don't let that impact your worth. Don't let that impact how good you feel about your deservingness or how much you deserve to become a physical therapist, because we're here to just remind you that that's in the bag. We just got to get you in. Does that make sense? And so if you remember that, if you treat it that way, then it's game over. It's game over, Jonas. It's game over for each and every one of you. Gabby, all y'all, like, it's game over. But that's where physical therapy has really failed us. That's where schooling system has really failed us, because we have never been taught that. We've never learned that. If I've been an A student my whole whatever, like, I don't know how to handle this. I don't know what it means to have to be resilient on an application. I don't know what it means to have to go at something time and time again. What's up, How you doing, man? Like, I don't know what it's like to have to do that. So it's new territory. But just like a relationship, you have to realize that you are meant to be part of some program. You are meant to be in a DPT program. There's not just one PT program in the whole US. And if you're watching from outside the States, there's not one PT program. There's multiple. There's ones that look at low GPAs. There's ones that look at high G. Whatever it is, there's one that's meant for you. So don't let the one that you've been rejected from determine anything. Don't let the fear of what hasn't even happened, if you're applying for the first time, get you in your own way. Go for it. Lock into it. You're good enough. You're worthy enough. Get your behind into PT school. Let's get it. Casey, anything else, man?
We got a survey that went out last night. Check your email, check your Facebook messages. Check the
Mm-hmm.
post in this group because we're giving away free stuff. I know y'all love free stuff. So check it, fill out a survey. It only takes about 3 minutes. We're trying to help you get into PT school as best as we can. So we're asking about 10, 11 questions for you to give us feedback on how we can put something together to help you fast track your way into PT school without wasting 1 year, 2 years, $75,000 on a
True.
lost year. Plus, 75
Exactly.
times 2 times 3, however many times you have to get in to apply. Without our guidance, we're trying to put that together in the best way we can for you. So, survey went out last night. Check your email. Check your Facebook messages. We sent y'all a Facebook message as well. Check the post in this group as well. If you're watching this, just scroll up or down until you find it, or just type in, what did you put, Joseph? It's like pre-PT survey. Just type in survey. It should pop up. And yeah, click it. And the top 10 people are going to get a phone call with us, 15-minute phone calls. And the top 10 people mean the top best answers, not the top first people, not the top 10 people to respond, but the top best answers. Get a phone call with us. Everyone else gets a video. It's about 30 minutes long, talking about the 9 things PT schools actually care about. So what do we care
Exactly.
about as pre-PTs? Oh, I need a high GPA. I care about how much the school costs. I care blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
We don't really think about what the schools care about. So in that video, if you finish the survey, you get it for free. What do they care about? What are they looking for on the other side of the table? What can you say to them once you figure out these 9 things? What can you say to them to pique their interest? Like, oh, Aya or James or who else is on here? Michaela, Kaylee, Emily, what's up? Jonathan, Jasmine. Oh, wow, they said something different than other pre-PTs because they actually know what we care about. They know our
Exactly.
fears, just like we're talking about your fears about not getting in and all this pressure. They'll be
Yeah.
like, wow, Kaylee actually knows about my fears. Let me listen to her a little bit more. So that's what we go through in that video. It's about 9 things they actually care about. That's what you'll get for free after you complete the survey. Then you'll also get a 20% discount off of our Kickstarter mini course. Just go to our website if you want to find out more about that. So after you finish the survey, top 10 best answers, get a phone call with us. After that, you get a free video, 9 things PT schools care about. It's about 30 minutes long. Then you have 20% discount off of our Kickstarter program. It's about 15 video lessons. We go through everything. You'll find the landing page and more information on that on our website. So check it out. You're getting free stuff. Do the survey. It's only 3 minutes.
Let's
That's
do it. Let's
it.
do it.
It's a wrap.
We have a lot of free value coming in via videos. We're gonna be sharing a lot. You're gonna be understanding our stories in and out, why we do what we do, the stories of other pre-PTs that have done it, to remind you that you got it in the bag. Let's get it. Have a good evening. Bye.